Hello everyone, this is Angel Esquivel here. Welcome back to another movie review, and today we're going to be reviewing Project Hail Mary, directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, which, if you're probably familiar with their works of Clyde with the Chance of Meatballs and 21 and 22 Jump Street and the Lego movies, which are one of my favorite movies ever made by these guys, and also starring Ryan Gosling. So without further ado, let's get to the review. So the movie is about a man named Ryland Grace, played by Ryan Gosling, which is ironic because they both have the same name. This is the same letter name, the R, and then the last name G, which is kind of ironic. So it's about him. He plays as a teacher at a elementary school, and he's called in by the United States government to help them go into this space mission to save their planet, because it turns out that their star is dying because of these like little alien things are absorbing the star's energy. But they find out it's not just about their star. In fact, it's every star that these little things are absorbing. And so months later into the future, he wakes up from his long coma. He was supposed to be a like companion with like other two space explorers, but it turns out they died during the process, while he's the only one who only knows about like a certain thing, but while the others know more about how to maneuver the ship and the mechanics, but he had to learn by himself. Well, along the way he finds a new companion, but he's not human. He's a little alien. He's a rock named Rocky. So they both also have the same goal to actually help each other to save their world from dying, and also to save their stars from dying too. So, good things that I like. I like the performance from Ryan Gosling. I think he had really good chemistry with his little partner, little character, a little friend named Rocky. I thought that was really good chemistry that they have with each other. And it's funny because knowing that Phil Lord and Chris Miller directed this movie, that explains that the comedy in this movie, because I mean, even though it's not as funny as like from like 21 or 22 Jump Street or The Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs, but it still has the humor that they also make in their movies, which I really had a fun time watching. And since I watched this in an IMAX, it was like one hell of a ride to watch. I mean, I remember seeing like promotions from like the Dolby Cinema saying, "Oh, you will not get anything like this in Dolby," but that's not true. I mean, you get the same thing with IMAX, except you get the full screen, which is 10 times better. Anything that I don't like about this movie, I think probably like the beginning part of the movie, it does kind of drag. Well, mainly when it comes to like the flashback moments of like him, like on Earth, trying to doing this like expedition of like what they're gonna do in this mission. I mean, not that it's entirely bad, but it kind of drags to a certain degree. But it's mainly only the parts that I like when they're in space. Another thing that I do like is this almost got me for a moment where Raylan Grace, or I'm just gonna call him Grace because that's what they call him throughout the entire movie. There's a part where he gets knocked out, and Rocky is there to try to wake him up, but he has to like get out of his shell to help him. But once he does that, he starts like getting injured, like his skin is burning. Well, even though he's a rock, but he's like slowly dying. And there's a moment where I really thought that he's gonna die. I'm like, holy shit! Like, I mean, not that I teared or anything, but I'm like, I just felt it's like that thing in your face where you feel like when you feel like a tear kind of coming out, like. Yeah, that almost got me. But luckily, I mean, yes, getting to spoilers, luckily he survived. Also, my favorite parts in the movie where Grace and Rocky are like learning each other's languages to like make things much easier, which is a really good message, you know, to tell the viewer, like, you know, we can all learn each other's languages if we just work together. So yeah, Project Hail Mary, really good movie. If you're gonna watch this movie, it's worth watching it in Dolby Cinema or an IMAX. Like me, I've watched it in an IMAX. It's really worth watching. In IMAX, you get the full screen, and you'll get like the sound and the coloring. You're gonna get a lot of it if watching IMAX. If you just wait for streaming, or you just wait and watching a regular, or you can watch it in a regular screening. But if you if you just wait like to watch it on streaming, it's like it's not the same. You're not gonna get the same thing, and you're just gonna be on your phone. That's what I really love about movie theaters is that you get to experience the movie like in its fullest potential when you're watching it in IMAX. I know it almost sounds like I'm sponsoring it, but I mean, this is just my opinion. So, yeah, really good movie. Watching the biggest screen possible. Really good casting, acting, and the directors did a good job. I love their humor, and I hope I get to see more of their projects soon. So, for my final rating for this movie, I give this movie an 8 out of 10. Yeah, sure, I wish I could have given it like maybe a little more higher. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if I watch it again, I'll probably like it more. But yeah, I guess the only disappointing parts is that, yeah, there's times where it does drag with their expedition of like talking about their plans. But as soon as when it reaches to the part when they're like doing their space mission with like Grace and Rocky, it's like it gets worth it. Also, I do want to note this my experience. That I really had a hard time watching this is because since this movie was very long, 2 hours, and this is when I just took a sip of my water, and I had it, and I wasn't even like in the middle of the movie, but I feel like I had to go pee, and I'm like, oh fuck, like, hey, like I'm very committed to watch a movie, even though I feel like I gotta use the restroom, I'm gonna wait until until like the movie is finished, and then I'll go. I know that might be bad for my health, but hell, I'm very committed to watching a movie, no matter how bad it was. I mean, hell, the only time I've ever used a restroom and decided to walk out of the theater just to use the restroom is The Strangers. I mean, that's how bad the movie was, and I didn't really care for it. But yeah, this movie, 8 out of 10. In conclusion, if you feel like that your life is in the worst place right now, or you think that your problems are worst on planet Earth, think again. Look up in the stars, and just think for a moment. You know, my life may not be as bad as what's going up in the universe right now, because who knows, there could be a whole lot worse stuff in the stars. There could be wars, there could be a planet destroying. Meanwhile, I'm down here crying about me being unemployed. Well, that's going to be today's movie review, so make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon up there. Make sure to follow me on my Instagram page, Thunderstruck1810. This is Angel Esquivel here, and as always,
Dick!